twisted new season of The Traitors is finally here.
What did I get myself into?
The prize, $250,000.
I'm gonna lie and cheat and do whatever I have to do to win.
If you're gonna come for me, I'll finish you.
Shame on you!
I'm out for blood.
It is like a firing squad. Boom, 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 boom.
Let the games begin. Emmy Award winner, The Traitors. New season streaming tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Only on Peacock.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, cool. Sorry, which one?
This is going to be the VBS missions trip stuff.
Right. And recording.
All right. Let me just double check. Yep, we're good. All right, count to 3 and clap.
Yep.
One, two, three. All right, Katie, this is a little bit different than our normal episode. And half of this will be a video that people can watch as like a supplementary thing. And the other half is mostly just me talking. So I don't think that'll go on YouTube. So let me do this first half. But basically, I've tapped in to my former Christian self the last couple of weeks.
Great.
By participating in both a VBS and a missions trip.
The two things I used to love. Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to fill you in on those. I'm going to try to talk in vagalities. I don't want to upset anybody. I also don't want to get us in trouble with any organizations or anything like that. But what I will say is that the VBS was fantastic. Good. If there was any negative I would say about the VBS, it's that the content that the church is sent to play is a bit cringe. But the work that they do is phenomenal. And I wanted to start by showing you just a quick video I took on my cell phone of how the church was decorated for VBS. So the theming was all underwater stuff. Oh. So this is a video I took on my phone of me walking through the lobby of the church. And you can see like we have all these like mats and there's a little like pop your face in there. But here's where we get into the crazy stuff is the actual stage. Someone built this thing. They built jellyfish that hung up. And then you can see it's like a hole across the entirety of the front of the church. Yeah. Is this like homemade backdrop with the cardboard cutouts and stuff like that.
Look at that. That's incredible. That's a lot of effort. Really cool. In that.
Someone made, I didn't get a picture of it. I wish I did. I think they're still at the church and I want to go and steal one of them. Is they took a red pool noodle and they cut it in half. And then they cut those halves into tiny little pieces and then put pipe cleaners to be claws and googly eyes on it. So they made these little red crabs that they had hidden all over the church. I'm like, that is so creative and probably cost $50 tops to make hundreds of little crabs. Like
easily, especially when it comes to pool noodles, and especially when like Dollar Tree is still going, at least for now. You know, you could do a lot with that.
I was like, this is so cool and creative. Now, the other thing that the church has done the last couple of years is they find a family in need and they basically tell the kids like, hey, we're going to be fundraising the whole week of VBS. Go make a lemonade stand, go do some chores around the house, whatever. And we're going to donate all the money that you raise this week to a family in need. Last year, the prize, if they hit the goal, was that the pastor at the church was going to eat a live worm.
Oh,
we hit the goal.
Clearly not
so
a bunch of
soon.
vegans, but okay.
No, we hit the goal so soon that we added on to that, and it was a worm that was dipped in hot sauce. Yeah, it's a gnarly video. This year we didn't go that wild.
That's great. I'm really glad that nothing had to die for your sins.
No,
but yeah,
no, for sure. This year it was that he would get his hair shaved every day that they raised money, and then if they hit their goal, they would dye his hair crazy colors. And I'm just going to start playing this because I did assemble a video. They were calling it the Fantastic Family Fund. This is the pastor at the church and the woman who runs the VBS doing the shaving of his head.
I love his reaction to
Oh my god, I took stills and I'm like, I'm going to use these on our socials to promote different events. But he is having an absolute blast here. So this was day 4 of the fundraising. So I love the ominous wail behind it.
I know, that's just so happily over his shoulder.
So he gets just like the George Costanza cut.
Of course. Yep.
And then they ended up raising over $2,000 for this family. So she did a little bit more of the hair, and then you can see she's doing a little bit more of the sides, and then we bring out the Shake On hairspray. She got a little bit in the back too.
Okay, I was like, yeah, because I feel like I see his like thought process right now. Like, what have I done? Oh, yeah. But he's totally putting it on for the kids. I love this.
Yeah. So then she hit him with red on one side, and then she grabbed a blue can, and she got the other side of his face blue, and you'll see all of his facial hair. Like she caked him in this blue. Now, we were really trying to get him to preach on Sunday like this. He was like, I can't go up there and preach like this. I'm sorry. But his reaction to everything is delightful. I want to do a quick playback of one moment on here. Mm-hmm. This is a little bit of Internet Supreme Court here. But there is a moment that I find so joyful, which is, don't watch the pastor. Watch Jen, who's cutting his hair, when she realizes that she forgot to put a hair guard on and is cutting too short.
Oh no!
The absolute oops. Like, she gasps and then she's covering her mouth, and then she has, like, for a lack of better term, a Muppet, like, oh geez, look on her face. Like, tight lips, like, sucked in, like, hopefully I don't get in trouble for this. I mean, as you can tell, pastor at that church is such a easygoing guy whose, like, entire career before heading our church was youth ministry. So, like, he gets the game. He shaved his head the next day and was ready to go. But I want to show you
with all of that we're like that we were watching and everything. I love that you also had like 8-bit music to go with it. I thought that was great.
Of course, I made an editing decision. Yeah. And the last thing I want to cover with VBS is there is one song/video that we played every single day.
Oh no.
That is so awkward and cringy, but my God, did the kids love it. I present to you the Power Shuffle.
What? So what?
Now, you might notice that there might be a copyright lawsuit for this bad boy.
100%.
Like,
it's all around, I see it everywhere. It's the power.
Yeah, this is just the Cupid Shuffles track.
Yeah, this is 100% the Cupid Shuffle, like, track.
And it's the power to heal your broken heart.
They had a budget for lights behind them, though.
Boy, did they. I don't know if they used it properly, but this janitor is my favorite guy. He keeps getting into it more as the song goes on. And this is just like some cringe lyrics.
Oh no, it is the Cupid Shuffle. It's just the Cupid Shuffle.
1, 2, 3. Now take tiny little jumps forward to the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps back, but you better look back.
You gotta look back. You gotta be safe. You don't want to bump into someone behind you before you take those jumps.
Yeah, just in case. But I mean, it's nice.
Clap your hands.
It's very aware.
Now stop. I feel it in the
All right, we don't have to watch the whole song,
Wow.
but you get the vibe. It is just the
it's-
Cupid Shuffle.
It is just the Cupid Shuffle, but also I love that it kind of has this like High School Musical vibe to it too.
It's Cupid Shuffle meets High School Musical. That is exactly how one of the kids in the back described it. And also, not for nothing, they had approximately 3 sets. They had this hallway, they had one classroom, and they had the gymnasium.
Is right next to, I'm sure it was right next to the basketball court that they're on constantly.
For sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Like you said, though, the light budget, they are blasting these lights behind these kids in every shot of this video. It's blinding.
They really want to be like lens flare galore, and they're accomplishing it.
There's a janitor getting into it. Love it.
I want to say that that's the real janitor that was just like, sure.
Why not?
Be in
Let's
your
do
video.
it. That's the version of this that I hope as well, that they just asked a guy and he was like, yeah, sure, I'll do your dance.
While the kids are just walking as background.
They're just in the background. It's phenomenal. But that's all I had for the VBS stuff. No real notes, slightly cringy video, but I can't complain.
I can't believe you watched that video that many times in a week.
Oh boy, it was a lot. Yeah,
once is enough. Yeah, and to bring it back just so I can watch it. I mean, what a delight for me. But yeah,
I'm not rude at all. I need to share the wealth.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Meanwhile, in New Jersey...
So, Marissa, what talking points do you want to hit on in this week's episode?
Well, Jackie, let's talk about how the film addresses the patriarchy. Ooh, and representation of marginalized people. Ooh, and even philosophical ramifications of good versus evil in horror.
We can point out the triangle boobs, talk about the blood splatter, and the practical effects. And also the male gaze.
My gaze at the males.
Hi-oh! From feminism to fangirling, the Jersey Ghouls cover all the bases of horror from a woman's perspective.
New episodes are uploaded every other Sunday.
Just search Jersey Ghouls to find us on social media and your favorite podcasting app.
So the missions trip also went well. But I want to talk about last year's missions trip for a second. This is the one time where I'm not going to be afraid to drag an organization for a second.
No, I know why. Yeah.
So for 2 years we used this one organization, and I'm not going to say their name, but they're great. I really do think they run a good program. But we had a couple issues. So last year we changed it up and we used an organization just called Group, which had like rave reviews. Everyone talked about how great they were. We had a miserable time with Group, and I'm not going to get into like the nitpicky like things that we requested that like weren't taken seriously, and then we had to fight with staff to get
for
things
the
done.
For the listener, I have heard all of the nitty gritty, and it's valuable like gripes.
Yeah, like
it's very valued
one
like
of
gripes.
one of the big ones was we asked to have our leaders with our own kids, and they still chose to send like all of our kids to random groups with people that we don't know and haven't personally vetted. So we had to cause a big hoopla for them to rearrange all of the sites to make sure that all of the kids were together. And they made us feel like we were the jerks for asking, like we weren't like getting into the group experience. But the
no,
other
we're just looking out for the safety of all the children.
all the children, exactly. Now the other thing that I will complain about is, we were 200 people shoved in a gymnasium shoulder to shoulder, which is just not a healthy way to live. The food was not healthy for kids that are going to be out in the sun all day. That was That was whatever. My problem with group is that I'm pretty sure, and this is where I could get hit with libel. I don't know. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying that this is definitely what's happening. But it felt very much like a Music Man level scam. Because the whole thing with group that I don't know about, like, you did missions trips. Traditionally, when you do a missions trip, there is a group that is there for the entirety of the summer, and like different churches show up, and you're like, whatever they don't finish, another church will probably pick up and run with, correct?
Technically speaking, we didn't operate on like those kinds of corporate type of mission trips. It was usually like the church would fund us to go to a place, and then we would do something like building a house or teaching English or something like that. So it was more contained, but I do understand what you're talking about because I have participated in those kinds of mission trips too.
Yeah. So group's whole thing is look at how many amazing changes we can make to a community in a singular week.
It's kaboom. It's kaboom.
But what the problem is like when you're doing that, your goal is to say that we finished 100% of the tasks, regardless if they're done correctly.
Right.
So like the big example that really bothered us was one of the houses, they were supposed to put up new drywall, and when they took the drywall down, they literally found black mold underneath it. And we're like, hey, we got to do something about this. And they're like, just put some plaster on it and rebuild the wall. Like it's like, well, we're not addressing the issue that's here at all. Like, you're just throwing a Band-Aid on a problem.
Which feels like how the American system is working right now. But yes.
100%. So we went back to the group that we had been working with past years because our biggest issue with them has always been that there's no adult there. The entire staff are college students, which is fine for bonding with the high school students, but is a problem when you have literally any issue that needs to be addressed.
Whatsoever. Yep.
And I'll talk about two of those issues. But for the most part, like I said, last year we were in a high school's gymnasium shoulder to shoulder. This year we were in the suites at a college dorm in North Carolina.
There it is. Okay.
Like, for the leaders, there was 4 male leaders. We had a 3-bedroom suite with our own private shower and toilet, air conditioning, of a little like lounge area. So like lodging was as good as it could be. Only complaint would have been for the girls. For the guys, it was great. We had 4 leaders and 4 male leaders and 4 male students. On the girls' side, we had 3 female leaders and 10 female students.
Oh, wow.
And they still gave us 2 suites for that scenario. So there was 10 teenage girls sharing a 3-bedroom suite.
Okay.
Which, like, retrospect, we probably should have said, hey, what would it take to get just one more room?
One more suite. Yeah.
Just like,
or one more bedroom. Yeah, understandably. But in comparison to 200 people shoved into a gymnasium with like 2 working bathrooms.
It was still a step up, and we were able to make it work. Then, like, breakfast was phenomenal because, again, we're at a college dorm. So we're, like, eating
good
right
food
there in the dorm food. It's like all-you-can-eat breakfast style, etc. The problem came with dinner. So a local elementary school principal, who also happened to be a Christian, was very familiar with the organization that we were working with, and said, hey, if you ever come to my area, I want to help out any way I can. So they hit him up, and he's like, I would love to host the dinners in our cafeteria so that, like, teams can sit together. And they're like, all right, cool. So they hit up a local organization we were there helping flood relief, Hurricane Helena flood relief.
Okay.
They hit up an organization that had previously been feeding displaced families, like one of those food charities.
Okay.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I love that, like, all these charity organizations are helping each other out.
That's what we got to do right now. It's really what we got to do.
The problem is that the food that you might think is acceptable for a displaced 50-year-old is different than the food that is appropriate to a 16-year-old who's been out in the sun for 8 hours.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to get dinner there 3 nights. We only went for 2 of the nights. And then we just came up with a plan B. But the first night, what they served was everybody's favorite thing to get when they're ordering Chinese food, which is, of course, General Tso's ground beef. Imagine combining your favorite Chinese food with a sloppy Joe. That was essentially what they served us on rice. No alternative meals. Like, if you were like a vegetarian, you just got the rice by itself. Like, with, like, it was like, this is rough. But the night that made us be like, no, thank you, we are fully out. And we literally got in the car and drove to the Sonic across the street and just ate there, was French onion pasta. A combination of ziti and French onion soup, which, again, you're feeding, on average, the ages 15 to 16-year-olds. What 15 or 16-year-old is looking for that type of food fusion? Like,
They're really not. I mean, it sounds like a fun appetizer at a
stick with the ziti.
Well, I mean, you could have done like anything. Like, kids are not super into onions, and they already smell like it to begin with.
I'm almost 40 and I'm not super into onions. I was very excited when I forced it down, but I was really excited to hear that there was Sonic as an option afterwards.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't want a burger after that to clear out the onion taste?
But boy, what we found out was we were like, look, we've budgeted just in case of this circumstance. And what our budget is that we can take the kids anywhere where they will cost less than $15 a person to eat. So we're trying to think of we're like, I don't know, Chick-fil-A, like where can we take them that's like $15 or less per person? And then we go into the cafeteria for breakfast and we see a sign that says dinner, $13 a person.
Stop it.
And then we asked the person in charge of the cafeteria, because one of the youth leaders is a faculty member at a college. She said, am I able to use my faculty discount? And she's like, I don't go to this school, but I work in a school. And he goes, yeah, you can use it for the entire group. So we ate for $11 per person, all you can eat, dinner buffet style in the cafeteria.
That's how you do it.
The first night, it was salads. It was a roast potato bar where you could put like chili, cheese, sour cream, whatever over your roast potatoes. They had normal ziti that didn't have French onion soup mixed into it. It was great. It was really a novel concept. And then we also, the second night, which was the best meal that I had the entire week, we showed up and it was pulled pork sandwiches. It was herb roasted chicken, and it was shepherd's pie. Which
nice.
I went to town on that shepherd's pie. It's been so long since I had shepherd's pie.
Same.
But that
I
was like
love that.
It was for $11. We fed everybody. It was great.
That's amazing. That's amazing, and that is exactly what it should be. It shouldn't be like, hey, here's your rations.
Well, and that's the thing. And this was like the conversation I was having with somebody else, where I'm like, I think there is this mindset within the church, and it's within society as well. It definitely was when you and I were extremely religious, and it seems to have still existed, which is like that part of missions is suffering together with the people. And it's like I get that from a I understand your conceit,
right?
But as you get older, as you do therapy, as you do all these things, you're allowed to be a little selfish. And like the reality is, if you're not well fed, if you're not well fed and well rested, you can't help people.
Right. No, and like this is something that Mark and I have been talking about a lot lately. Is just kind of like the finances of everything, which is like finances of your mental health, the finances of your health in general, the finances of your time, and like all of that is what we've been slowly chipped away at. And I want to say that like simple things like eating a healthy meal is not a luxury. It is a need. No, it is a need for every human being.
And that's the thing. Like, we were looking at that and we were like, if I was in charge of this organization, let's say, I don't know how much we paid. Let's say it was $400 a person to come do this missions trip. I would bump that to $450 and just have the dinners also be in the school cafeteria. You know what I mean? Like, just cover that. That to me is worth the extra $50 to make sure that the kids are getting like proteins and things that will
vegetables.
make them make them able to push forward the next day out in the sun.
In the hot sun, yeah. Well, and especially when, like, you need to be hydrating and, like, a 16-year-old kid doesn't want to just down water all the time. Like, give them some options, like cucumbers and stuff, or, like, fruit or food that has water in it that's refreshing and also, like, palatable for getting your veggies in.
So the other thing that we didn't like about this organization, which is why we didn't use them last year, is that they do a 3.5 day work week. And we were like, it feels like we're paying a lot of money and doing a lot of traveling for 3.5 days. The other organization was 4 days.
Okay.
But what we landed on, and if I will pat myself on the back, I was the one that pitched this idea, was that we just found a local charity that we could volunteer at on the half day. So we found this awesome location that was like a food bank / thrift store, and we got lunch, and we went there and we spent like 3 hours just helping them sort clothes and sort food, and like it was just, and we were in the air conditioning, like it was like, hey, you're not outside, you're in the air conditioning, and you're like doing a thing that like we might not directly see people pick up the food, but like where everyone else maybe went to the movies or went golfing, like we like continued to do good works.
The mission to help others.
Do a mission, yeah. And I love that. Like I love those organizations where it's like their goal. Sure, if someone wants to ask them about God, they'll answer. But like the goal is just like people need things.
Yes.
Like people need things to survive, and that's way more important. And if they want to come by for a Bible study on Tuesday nights or whatever afterwards, awesome. But like he even talked about how he's like, we don't hold a budget, we don't tell people limitations on what they can get, they just check in and they take what they need from the food bank, and we are always, the donations come in, we never have to worry. He said the only time in their history there was ever a cap on anything was this past year. This past year was like, please limit yourself to 2 cartons of eggs per person.
Yeah.
When like eggs were outrageous.
Right.
But he's like, that is literally in the 20 years of our ministry the only time that we've ever had to put a cap on people taking whatever.
A certain produce item, yeah.
Because he's like, we just felt like, he said when they started, they'd show up, they'd hand a receipt, and they would give them a bag of stuff, and he goes, it's just so impersonal. It's kind of embarrassing to them, like, and also you're not letting them have a choice to pick what they want to eat. They're just going home with a bag of free groceries that like doesn't take into account allergies or anything. So
right.
Like now he said like they have a whole, I think this is so awesome, they have a whole system where like you register once and it keeps track of the things that you like to buy and they're able, or what you like to take, and it allows them to be like, okay, well, a lot of people want the Rice Krispies or whatever, so let's make sure that we're constantly
that's a part of our inventory.
Yeah. Like it's like, what a brilliant way to run a food bank charity.
Absolutely.
Like, so that was awesome. Again, like I said, mostly positives.
Good.
Let's dive in to my favorite piece of negatives. Which is, boy, oh boy, when I was a kid, I so looked forward to like the end of the day chapel session where it was like an hour of worship music and a lesson and a fun game. Man. Christian teens have the worst sense of humor. Like Christian teens in 2005. Even worse. Like I was like, this is so cheesy. Like every aspect of it was cheesy.
Sure.
The worship songs, there was not, Katie, when I tell you, there was not a single song that they sang during worship that was written in the last 10 years. Like I was like, I don't know any of these songs. Like, are we too good for a Lord I Lift Your Name on High or something? Like, where are like the old standbys that have always worked for me? I was
that are chill, that are like it's a nice cool down from all the experiences.
And also too long. Every song was like 7.5 minutes long. Like we don't need that. No one's asking for that.
What? So was it just like a bunch of just like high energy Insano songs? Like what was the deal?
It was just like, I think the other thing, and maybe this is old man yelling at a cloud about worship music. I just feel like there's nothing new to say.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of the same stuff that I've heard in better songs.
Sure.
But like, you know, it's the same old, like, you died for me, I'm so glad, I love you, God. Like, it was just like a bunch of I love you, God songs. You know what I mean?
I love you, God, and God loves me. Yeah.
Like like they really hammered those. Also, like I said, it's all college students.
Okay.
And they do this weird thing. Like, if I was in charge of a missions group, what I would do is hire people specifically for their skills. Hey, this person's going to school to be a pastor. They're going to be the one that does the evening lessons. This person is going to school for music. They're going to be the worship leader. This organization, it's that, like, their 8 counselors kind of trade off who does what lesson on what night. So it's always a different person teaching each lesson. And there were 2 that were phenomenal. Like, the one girl I actually, when we were leaving, I was like, you should go into public speaking. Like, she was just very good. A lot of the other ones, it feels like they're just, like, reading off of a sheet of paper and they don't really fully grasp what they're even talking about.
Want to be there.
But I feel so bad talking about this, but it must be talked about. The first night, the person is up there, and she is so anxious and keeps saying how she doesn't do well at public speaking, and that she's really nervous. And then halfway through the lesson, she just completely freezes, and people start like doing the like, "You got this, girl. You got this." And then she just says, "I'm so sorry," drops the mic on the ground, and just ran out of the room. And someone else had to like awkwardly walk up and pick up the microphone. And like, for me in the audience, I'm like, all right, that's like 10% funny, 90% like really upsetting.
Understandable.
But like, I get it.
Yeah.
What I hated, what I absolutely hated was, as a leader, this was brought up by the other staff members on 3 different occasions where they like apologized about it and prayed for the girl to like overcome whatever panic. And I'm like, if it was me, if the roles were reversed, I would just want us all to forget that it happened and move the fuck on. just
because
don't even
all
mention
that poor girl is thinking about is how much you guys are thinking about this. Like, that's 100%. The thing that's keeping her from going back to speaking in front of people.
Yeah. But then the last thing that I need to bring up that was so cringy every single time, and I was gonna make a meme for it, and I forgot to. They did a thing called Mission Site Stories, where anybody could come up and share an interesting or funny moment that happened on the work site that day. And every single time I thought about one of my favorite Simpsons memes, which is Krusty the Clown. And the scene in the actual Simpsons is he goes, "And now it's my favorite part of the show. What's the cue card say?" And they bring it up close. He goes, "Questions with the audience. Ugh, this is always death." And like, that was how I felt every time. Like, they'd be like, "It's time for Mission Site Stories." And I'm like, oh, here comes 5 minutes of nothing. Just one kid literally was like, "There was an ant on our water bottle, so we picked it up and put it on the ground, and the ant walked away."
Saved a life. Well done.
Dope. Amazing. Fantastic. But the highlight story moment was this guy goes up there, and like, I even started getting choked up. It's a leader, and he's like, "Hey, we were working on this house, and we needed water to wash something off. And the house that we were working on didn't have running water. So we went to the neighbor's house, and they also didn't have running water. And we had to go 6 houses before we could find a home that had running water for us to be able to help wash the stuff up." He goes, "That was yesterday. Today, we showed up, and the neighbors went out of their way to buy us ice to keep our water coolers cold." And I mean, I'm getting emotional talking about it. He's like, we're there helping them, and they're still trying to help us. And like, that's what this world's supposed to be about. And it's like this beautiful emotional moment. And then he sits down and like, well, we've got one more mission site story. Like, that should have been the end. Like,
that's it. You cap it.
We've hit the top. And instead we get a 16-year-old who just walks up and goes, "I've just got 2 words that every guy will understand. I got to use a sledgehammer today. And then he sat down, and I'm like, in my mind, I'd be like, if I was that kid and that guy's telling that story, I'd be like, I gotta sit down.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was hyped to go. He was the exact opposite of the girl who ran away. He would really needed to get that out just to be like,
he hadn't met a microphone. He wasn't excited to talk.
Right. Yep. Sounds about right for a 16-year-old boy. Yep.
Oh my God. But yeah, those stories never got good. That was the one good story ever. Yeah. All in all, though, like I would say, honestly, like a 9 out of 10. Like when last year was like a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be my last one for a little bit.
Okay.
It was tough. You know, like this was my first trip. The first trip since Barb and the kids moved in. Yeah. Right. Last year they moved in while I was on the missions trip. Mm-hmm. Like we were like, let's move them in while I'm not home, and it'll allow you and the kids to like get used to the house as the familiar group of family members, and then when I come back we can figure out what that family relationship looks like. This was the first year where like they've known me, they've lived with me, and her 7-year-old needed me to FaceTime him at least twice a day just to let him know that I was okay and that I missed him and that I was going to come home soon. And I'm like, this is a lot. This is hard. This is hard for me. It's hard for him.
Yeah.
So I think until they're like a little bit older, or at least the oldest is like, if the oldest was like, hey, I want to start going to the youth group and I want to like,
right, you would go with them. Yeah.
I would go again. But until then, I think I'm going to sit it out until at least 5 years, I said, until like they're teenagers and the 3-year-old is like, 8, you know what I mean? Like then I'll feel a little bit more comfortable. And like by then the 8-year-old will have 2 teenage brothers who can like explain to the 8-year-old like, oh, Matt's going to come home. He used to do this when we were kids. It's totally fine. He'll call you every day. Like, you know what I mean? But right now it's like it's a little too much. So
that's that's okay.
That's my recap. But yeah, I honestly, when I pitched the idea of like we should do a recap of VBS and the missions trip, I expected worse. I really
because you had worse last year.
I did. I had way worse last year. I will throw in one other quick story. We did rafting on the Friday.
Oh, cool.
I don't like water, so that was awesome.
Not so great then. What level of rafting are we talking here?
So here's the very quick rafting story, and I will try to consolidate this.
Okay.
Our rafting was scheduled for 1:30 in the afternoon. We left at 10:30 to get breakfast. We found a really great place. Food was amazing. We leave that place at 12. GPS says that we're about an hour from where we need to go.
Okay.
And this was an address that all of us double and triple checked with the organization. Like, this is the address. This is the address.
Okay.
You have 2 addresses on the website. This is the address. And they're like, that's definitely the address. So we're driving. We pass by a giant sign that's like, rafting this way. And we're like, well, that's not the address they told us. But then we keep driving and we hit traffic on a mountain with no cell phone reception. And all of a sudden our arrival time is going up, and suddenly our 1 o'clock arrival has become a 1:45 arrival. So one of the kids has a phone with satellite, and we're able to make an outgoing call just to say, hey, we're going to be a little late. And they're like, yeah, like traffic's affecting everybody. We totally get it. Get here when you can. We don't have any other groups lined up today. So like, you should be fine whenever you show up, as long as it's before we close at 6.
Okay.
So we get down this trafficy hill. Takes us an hour to get down this mountain. We get to the location. Our reception comes back, and we have received a text message saying, we've realized we sent you an error with the address that you're supposed to go to.
Come on.
It's actually this address.
And it was
so
the
now
place
we have
back?
to call all the way back before the traffic.
Oh.
So we have to call them back, explain the circumstances, tell them, look, we're not going to get there till almost 4 o'clock because now we have to go back through the hour traffic heading up the hill this time.
Right.
To get back there. So we get back there, and what we had told everybody was that we were doing a level 1 calm rafting because there were going to be kids that might not feel comfortable, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Well, this organization
Oh, no.
In an attempt to make up for the screw up, was like, hey, we're going to bump you to whitewater rafting.
No.
And they said that.
No.
They said that in front of the high schoolers who are just like, hell yeah, we're going to go whitewater rafting.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And we have to have this conversation where it's like, listen, the parents were promised one thing. We can't
go back on that. Yeah, we can't.
We can't go back on that.
Yeah.
But high schoolers don't understand that.
Of course
so
they
high
don't.
schoolers took that as these two whiny middle schoolers are the whole reason why we're not having a fun whitewater rafting, and they were just so mean to these middle schoolers, made me so upset. And then the poor guide, they refused to paddle. So the entire 5-mile rafting trip was
Whitewater
just the
rafting.
guide pushing by herself. Well, calm water rafting.
Oh.
But still, the guide had to push a raft of 6 kids by herself with none of them helping to row for the 2 hour. Like, I was so angry, so frustrating, so angry. But the real rage, Katie.
Oh, boy.
Keep in mind, we left the dorms at 10:30 to go get breakfast.
Oh, no.
We arrived finally at our rafting destination at 4 o'clock. We put in the address to the dorms, and we were 25 minutes away from our dorms.
Oh, come on.
Entire time.
No, that's awful.
I was so upset.
Yeah, that's enraging. That is enraging.
It was so upsetting.
Oh, God. Okay,
yeah.
well, I mean, all things considered, I understand the 9 out of 10 because even though they were like smaller annoying things, they were largely annoying things.
Yeah. It was what it was, but
Yeah.
it was a good final one for a bit. I think all the leaders and some of the youth are trying to convince me to go next year. We'll see, but I'm pretty firm in not wanting to do it. I'm like, I travel too much with all the other stuff, and it allows me to like give a little bit more energy into the VBS next year, because it's like VBS ended on Friday, Saturday we were packing the van, and Sunday we were on the road. Like it's a lot.
That
so.
you were completely gone.
And it was a 9-hour drive. Like, we drove to Asheville, North Carolina from Philadelphia. Like, that's not a short drive by any stretch of the imagination.
Especially with high schoolers and a couple of middle schoolers.
Well,
like, that's a lot.
I will say, the drive home especially, we had that trip. When I tell you we knocked out, we did 3 stops and didn't add a full hour to our arrival time from when we left at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Because it was like, we stopped to gas up, and like the kids were still sleeping in the vans at that point, because a lot of them had the idea of pulling an all-nighter on Friday, so they'd sleep in the van on the drive home Saturday.
Great
plan. So we stopped, we gassed up, we drove for about 3 hours. We found a location where it was like a Chick-fil-A, a Bojangles, and a burger place.
Great.
All like within walking distance. We parked, and the one guy, Carl, who's like my favorite person to do these mission trips with, literally just turned around and was like, the GPS says we're going to get home at 4:30. Every second that you're inside these buildings adds time that you get back to your house.
Yes. Great communication. Great way of putting it into a frameable reference. Well done.
100%. He's like, you are to pick one of these 3 locations. You are to go inside, order food to go, and bring it straight back into this van, and you will eat in the van. And once everybody's in the van, we're just going to drive.
There you go. There you go.
We did a lunch that fed 21 people in under 20 minutes. Like, it was like in, out, back on the road. We made one more bathroom/gas up stop that took an extra like 10 minutes, and then we were home. We got home at we left at 6:30, got home at 5. I had 0 notes. I was so ecstatic. I took the longest, hottest shower of my life.
Sure.
Not related to the missions trip. Then the next day, woke up to find out that our central air had completely frosted over, and we were going to have to unplug it for the 90-degree day.
Boy.
So Sunday was an extra lazy Sunday. But yeah, and now I'm here talking to one of my best friends about the experience. This is probably not one of our best edited episodes, because I think I'm just going to release this fairly raw. We didn't say anything that I'm worried about, so it's
not
fine.
that I noticed.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I mean, Group might try to sue me, but otherwise I think we're fine.
You know what? If you could find a group called Group.
Yeah, that's a starting point. You're already making it difficult. But yeah, that's it. So we'll be back with like a regular episode of Christian Cringe. And it actually ties in beautifully with this episode because we're going to talk about worship songs that were actually kind of good next week, as opposed to all the worship songs I listened to this week.
Yeah, there's that.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.